Does anyone object to me pressing the record button?
Press the button.
I pressed the button right before I asked that question so I would get your answer in the recording. I feel like I need to have a legally accessible record of whether or not you objected.
I figured you were going to do something sadistic like that. I should do the intro?
I mean, if you want to. I could do the intro, but it wouldn't make sense because I don't know what's happening.
That's I'm going to be asking what's happening. Hi, this is Beth. Welcome to GURPS Wars, a homebrew Star Wars GURPS campaign, and we're still doing the Logistics Apprentices, aka the Apprentice Accountant Sith, and on the planet of not really tumbleweeds, and certainly a fair amount of desert, and more weird stuff. Apparently, you are now the weird stuff apprentices. You're going to get so many more assignments like this. You can just tell this is terrible. Joining me are Crash and Ellie and EO. And what happened last time?
I was asked to pick a lock.
Which one did you pick?
This one has a wonderful combination dial that you can spin it like a fidget toy. See? Actually, hold on. I made my telekinesis other by 8 to fidget spin the combination lock. It's going to keep spinning until the heat death of the universe.
Yeah, well, no, that'd be a crit success. This is only a made by 8 success. Yes, what luck was it that you found? Remind me.
Rufu's door. Rufu made a point. Like, every time he talked about his room, he talked about how he keeps it locked. Which is like pointing out, and by the way, here's this apple pie that I'm putting on the windowsill. And yes, I love opening my window. Did you notice that there's an apple pie by the windowsill? Hello, welcome to my home. There's an apple pie over by the windowsill. Who's ready for some football? Did you know there's an apple pie over by my windowsill?
No, he only kept it a little bit locked. He only mentioned like once or twice. It came up naturally.
Every time he mentioned the second floor.
Okay, true. I mean, he didn't want you, like, breaking into his room, obviously. Clearly.
No, you don't say it that many times without
twice
as an invitation. I heard it more than
so
twice.
You people...
Possibly because I've edited more than one recording. And therefore,
there is
each time I listened to the recording, I'd heard it again. And if I was making edits, I had to go back and listen to the edit to make sure I edited it well, which meant I heard it a third time. Just saying.
Okay, well, in that case, you're on the second floor then, aren't you?
I love how we're skipping over everything else that happened, which was we brought everyone to Rufu's estate, fort, slightly more secure ramshackle hut.
It's not as ramshackle as the other one.
Sen reorganized the kitchen space.
Yeah, I did.
All right. And you found a note in there.
Yes. It said things.
And we found a
Let's
library with a book. With notes. That also said things.
And a conservatory with a lead pipe.
Now.
And a kernel with mustard gas. Wait, hold on. I'm beginning to realize why, considering when Clue came out, that the kernel was named Mustard. It was war crimes.
I mean, also it was, everybody had were named after colors. But, yeah, it's not impossible.
They could have named him Colonel Yellow. They did not.
Let's see, that's handout. I need handout 5. Where's handout 5?
Oh, and I did talk to Buck and suggest that he let the others know that, yeah, it's not likely that Rufu will try to kill us in our sleep, but stick together? Maybe post a watch?
Yes, you people are posting a watch, presumably? That's...
yes.
Yes.
There's the one. There's the letter you found in the kitchen.
Rufu shot an alien in Reno just to watch them not die.
Something like, please confirm before he eats more. Does Hut Melon pay for wounded?
And there was the suggestion that this particular Sabrak that's being referred to, there's Sabrak, right?
Yeah, Zabrak.
Zabrak. Okay. Is it weird that I hesitate to use the derogatory terminology used for a fictional species? And I still don't want to say it out loud? But yeah, found another Zabrak. His leg was all wrecked up like mine. Shot him, but he didn't die. Does Hut Malin pay for wounded? Please confirm before he eats more. And the note is heavily stained with smudges from the paint tool that was used to create the note.
No, it's smudges from the paint tool that was used to make the note look like it's on dirty paper.
Ah.
The note was primarily created with the font tool.
Ah.
I did not write that. I mean, I wrote that, I typed that, but I did not draw each letter. Come on now.
I have some resources for dirty paper that can be used for making future notes if you are so inclined.
It's a thought, but I mean, I did hack it up very quickly on the spur of the moment, so.
And it's amazing what you can do quick.
Yes.
Note the "We're downstairs" graphic that's on the map currently.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very proud of that.
Except you people came upstairs, didn't you?
Well, it's not pointing at me. So I do have a concern, and I'm saying this while we're not right outside the door, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
I'm aware that you have your own special charms when it comes to being stealthy, but do we wish to do this while Rufu is in his room? Ellie?
I'm here. I'm thinking.
Okay.
Okay. We're just worried.
Well, I can be very hard to see, but not, unfortunately, very hard to hear. Well, it's up to you. I suppose if he wakes up, I can just convince him I'm a ghost.
I'm inclined to actually get some rest. We have been doing a lot of walking. And
this is true.
Ask him in the morning if he can use his communicator to have us, I don't want to say be rescued, but let's be honest, that's kind of what we're going for here. And if we're able to continue our actual mission, I'm honestly less concerned about what Rufu's doing.
Yeah, that's quite fair. And yes, darling, it isn't rescuing. It's a group of Sith who are requiring the denizens of this planet to provide them with transportation.
I like how you word things. This is why you're our people person. Why am I our people person? I don't understand this.
That's all right. You're not here. Wrong game.
Yeah. That was a longer time ago in a galaxy much, much further away.
Yes, then let's get some rest. I'll sit by the fire and you two can fight over the chair and the sofa.
Oh, there's a perfectly good chair up here. I think I'll hang around up here for a while.
Oh, all right.
You're splitting the party, you people. All right, who is going to be where?
Different floors of the same frickin' house.
Yes, unfortunately, the maps are not side by side. They are, in fact, on two separate maps.
Rand's reasoning is, whoever this Rufu is now, we have our doubts it's the same Rufu that was known by people before. And Buck brought up a good point about being murdered in their sleep. All the civilians are in this other room up here. If we all conk out downstairs, they're left unguarded.
That's true.
I was assuming we wanted to set watches, but
I figured
I've got
same.
one of those atomic ones. It's very convenient.
I figured the same. I will take whatever watch you like. Just tell me when to wake up.
I think I have something to roll random numbers on my data pad.
Oh, that reminds me. I should get mine back from Buck.
I'm a little concerned that this floor only has one window we have access to. Wait, no, two. There's one in the library. But they both face the same way. Unless I go in and it's like, hello, don't mind me. I'm not here to murder you in your sleep. Just looking out the windows. Good night, everybody. Remember, not murdering you in your sleep. Don't worry. Good night. Sleep well. Not murdering you.
Apparently, I'm taking first watch.
All right. Well, wake me up when it's done. I'll make Ran get up early.
I'll have some...
He's military.
coffee.
He's used to it.
Yes, I look forward to the revelry. I will have some... whatever that thing is that's supposed to be coffee ready for all of you afterwards.
Okay, so you're going to use that chair, and there's a couple of lights that are in the upstairs that are little battery powered lantern type things, so you can see them. They're glowing in a somewhat appalling green, the pair of them.
It casts a
You can
green
try to
circle of light.
Mm-hmm. You can try to turn it down or cover it over or just ignore it while you sleep.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch that last sentence.
I can turn
Rand
it off
can
or
decide
ignore
what to do. Mm-hmm.
I mean, I do have night vision too.
Yes. That subtracts 2 from any darkness penalties. Or you can, turn the chair around and put your back to it, that kind of thing. You're putting circles around it. Anyway, you're going to stay up there and figure out what to do, right?
I'm just hanging out up here. Everyone else can go downstairs. Okay. This chair is mine. There are many like it, but this one is mine. Ah!
I thought I was taking first watch.
Where are you watching? Upstairs or downstairs?
You are definitely taking watch.
Upstairs where the civilians are.
Oh, okay. I will activate the second floor again.
Tactically, we have a difficulty that is primarily the GM's difficulty because the GM's in charge of switching the maps. It's fine.
Yeah, well, it's not too hard.
Upstairs, we don't have a lot of windows to look out of if ostensibly we are keeping watch for outside threats. However, we know there is a potential inside threat.
Yeah, and you took the chair next to the only window.
Not the only window. There's one in the library and there's several downstairs.
Yeah, and I can't see the civilian door from those.
I'm a light sleeper. It's fine.
Okay, whatever. Have it your way.
I mean, you could also go down and, walk out the front door and walk around the place occasionally. That's...
I definitely can't rescue the civilians from our new friend deciding to sleep murder people if I'm outside.
There is that. You could drag that chair over in front of the door. I mean, this is Ran. Ran could quietly telekinesis the chair over in front of the civilian's door.
Or I could not quietly telekinesis Rufu out the window.
I mean, you'd have to get into his room, but yeah.
If I'm dealing with something like that, it's because Rufu is not in his room.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you could put your chair...
if you're dealing with something like that, you have to be awake.
I tell you what.
I've had commanders who spent their entire careers not awake.
Why don't you two take turns guarding the upstairs, and I'll look after the downstairs.
You know what? There's a perfectly serviceable bench over here. I'm going to take a nap over here.
Fair enough.
I'll go downstairs then.
Enjoy the couch.
Sen, upstairs or downstairs?
Sen is sitting in this chair.
Okay. So you're... Okay. And...
I'll sleep when the transport gets here. I will take a nice long nap while the transport takes us to the Hutt's palace, where I will take a nice long nap.
Followed by a shower, a meal, and then another nice long nap.
And then another nice long nap. See, you understand me.
We have gone on expeditions before.
Yes, and very few people died as a result of me not sleeping. So I assume it won't happen again.
If it did, then all of our adventures would be rather formulaic, and you know that's not happening.
I feel like we're all simultaneously too paranoid and not paranoid enough.
We're Sith. But I repeat myself.
Darling, I agree with you that we should watch both the upstairs and the downstairs. We need to be wary for threats from the outside and from the inside, but we only have 3 of us.
Yeah.
And someone is going to have to stay awake all night, or else we are not going to be able to monitor both places. I am volunteering out of the goodness of my heart to stay awake all night so that we have someone looking after both levels of the house.
Or
Yeah, no, and I appreciate that.
Or we could be taking turns like originally planned.
Is that, again, someone has to be awake on both the first and the second floor, or else part of the house isn't being watched.
Have you people done a search roll for the entire house yet? Or
Not
did you
the
only
entire
search
house.
We've searched it. We've done
okay.
searches
We've
downstairs and upstairs.
Yeah, we've done searches in individual rooms upstairs, and we've done
searched
searches
the
for the
entire
whole
downstairs.
downstairs.
Okay. For my own interest, okay, what were you precisely searching for on the downstairs? Just finding out what was in there in the downstairs?
Yeah, I think I was ransacking the kitchen, I think.
Right, you found the note.
Sanoni was going through the fireplace.
Nothing there.
And I was looking for secret doors.
And through the... Right.
I didn't catch that.
Secret
Ran was looking for secret doors.
Mostly in the floor and ceiling.
Yes.
Well, yes, unless the walls are somehow interdimensional, I don't think they're very much... They're thick enough to provide any sort of tunnel.
Okay. I would like everyone to give me an IQ -5 roll.
I missed by 9.
Missed it by 3.
By 1. Sen, you definitely feel like you're being not paranoid enough about something. But it's just itching at you. Okay.
You know, I think I'm going to say goodnight to our traveling companions. I'll be back in a bit. Knock, knock.
Are you all finished talking now, young'uns?
Don't talk, darling. I discourse.
Who said that?
We seemed all...
And Rufu is definitely cancelled.
Manda said that. She feels like you are all young'uns who are chatting. Oh, sorry. Yes, Rufu is definitely cancelled.
I thought we were trying to be quiet.
You were. She can't pick out any words, but the walls are thin.
Okay, that's fair.
There was mumbling.
Oh, alas, I am afraid that for as long as we are sent on missions together, we will not be done talking. I fear the universe requires us to banter. With that said, everyone tucked in for the night?
Got the pistol here.
Ah, you have had a conversation with young Buck over here, have you not?
We're trying to be careful.
Understood. It warms my cold, dead accountant heart.
Buck says, accountants have dead hearts. Thought that was only huts.
Oh, huts are full of a range of emotions. Accountants need to go by the numbers.
Yes, sir. He does not sound convinced.
That's fine. I'm not trying to be convincing. This is said with a smirk that may or may not match the character art for this character.
That's a preposition, by the way. We don't buy the numbers unless we're, you know what I mean. We don't buy the numbers unless we're, dealing with huts.
And
On
that's
one
huts
occasion,
for
we
you.
had to just take the
Actually,
numbers.
In that case, they typically call us.
You know, I can't disagree with you, which seems to be normal. Right. Well, the banter will probably be done for the night at least, but it will likely start up again early tomorrow morning. Like I said, universe, fate, the will of the Force, whatever you wish to believe. It is a thing. Good night. Sleep well.
Yes, sir.
So,
Let's see.
which way
Rand,
is
give
this
me
door
another of
open,
those
out or
IQ
in?
minus fives. The door opens inward
Oh,
into the room. And give me another of those IQ minus 5 rolls just for grins.
I am looking to see. Isn't there a way to? Oh, yes, I can do that, and then I can do IQ. I did an IQ
You
minus
feel?
5 roll. I failed by 1, but I did an IQ minus 5 roll.
Yes, you did.
I'm
You
proud of me.
feel like there's something that you possibly should have done in that room and you can't remember what. Oh, well.
Oh, I haven't fully left the room yet.
Oh, okay. You feel like there's something you should do in here besides just say goodnight.
Look out the
Like
window.
block the door.
Oh, I assure you I was planning on blocking the door. That's why I asked which way does the door open.
Door opens inwards, and
I'm going to look around the room real quick. Where's that search roll? I missed it by 1.
Search by 1.
I see that there's furniture and 3 people.
And a couple of windows.
Use your inspiration.
I spend
you could
one of old Rob's XP.
Make me a roll. It is against one of your skills, but I'm not telling you which one because that would give it away. Just roll.
A 15.
That's
That
not
is
a
a
good
terrible
roll.
roll.
But I rolled high. Most
Okay.
TTRPGs, you roll high. Hello.
No.
I'm saying
No,
this with a smile
no.
on my face, not expecting to be believable.
Indeed. Okay. Yeah, no, that's... You glance out the windows. The windows are, well, they're windows. Okay, yeah. They don't have shutters on them.
I don't like they don't have shutters. But as I step out, I close the door part way, and then I'm going to use telekinesis other to move some of the heavy furniture over to block the door.
So people can't get in.
Correct.
Unless they have telekinesis.
Or if they're on the inside, or if they happen to pop the hinges of the door, because I don't imagine it's very well constructed. But it'll at least slow them down and make a lot of noise.
Yeah, I mean, that's the most... It would definitely make noise if you drag over, like, one of those crates that's, being used as a table or something. Side table over there.
Well, yes, it would definitely make noise if you were dragging it across the floor. That's not what I'm doing.
Right. You're telekinesing it over. You made it by 9.
So I gently close the door with the crate and set the crate down.
And that would definitely make a big scraping noise if anyone pushes the door open without using telekinesis. Percy, don't you dare sneeze on me. Did the sneeze come through?
Yes.
So I admit I'm concerned about those windows.
As am I. But they have good heads on their shoulders. Well, depending on the situation, they have good heads on their shoulders. Theory of multiple intelligences and all that.
Okay. I'm just going to go to the first floor to make sure that I know I'm going to make sense.
I just had a
People
thought.
who are upstairs now have their icon. Yes?
What do you have in your mouth?
What?
Teeth.
You were talking like you have something in your mouth.
No.
A knife?
Percy. No, I'm just still wearing a mask till tonight.
I
And then I'm going
award
to take it off
Ellie
tomorrow.
inspiration. I have found this photo evidence of Beth.
taking the knife out of the sink.
That's where we keep
I want to know what
kitchen
that
knives.
knife was doing in the bathroom sink. Why does that cat? I mean, yes, the cat. Why? I'm
Well, you
concerned.
wash the knife in the bathroom sink because the kitchen sink has a garbage disposal, and you don't want to sacrifice a good kitchen knife to the garbage disposal gods. Clearly.
I'm worried that the cat brought the knife into the kitchen sink and is now taking it out again.
Well, I mean, that is also possible. But here is the thought that I just had. We were thinking of doing a series of watches where one person is up and two people are sleeping. What if we did a series of watches where two people were up and one person was sleeping? Just reverse it.
That's a possibility.
I thought
you
that
make the watch.
was
This is entirely possible, but it's not the plan that we ended up with.
It's
or at least it's not the plan that
you
Antuxa
suggested
ended
and
up
neither
with.
of us wanted. Yeah. Sen and Ran are both not liking this plan, I believe. And Tuxa has
I didn't argue.
Well, Antuxa has disappeared downstairs and is planning to spend the entire night patrolling.
And Tuxa has disappeared is definitely a sentence that has been said numerous times.
Yes.
And I'm glad you finished that sentence with Rand going downstairs and going, "Hello?" I never know if you're here or not.
It's not out of the question that she would be invisible in fact, I think, to be honest, I think Antuxa would be invisible while she was doing her rounds.
There has to be at least one occasion where Rand just assumed Antuxa was invisible and was trying to have a conversation with her, and then we hear a toilet flush and Antuxa walks out of a bathroom drying her hands.
Yeah, probably.
Okay, Antuxa has made invisibility by 6. The floor is not what you would call entirely silent, so if you want to avoid a certain amount of creakiness, you probably want to make a stealth roll. Made by 3. Okay, yes, you're being fairly stealthy. You're just going to be walking around the inside of the house?
No, I am going to be alternating. I have a path in mind that I will demonstrate.
Okay.
This is silly. I should not be doing this with the keyboard.
You want to patrol the borders of the map.
Right.
Are you going to be leaving the door open behind you?
I am not. This is merely for demonstration purposes.
Okay, just checking.
So basically, I am making an entire circuit of the outside of the property, and then coming in and checking the kitchen, checking the stairwell, and checking the fireplace.
Okay. The fireplace may have a bit of a fire left in it, depending on what Sen did, or some coals or something. You'd probably build it up again if you wanted.
I will build it up. The fireplace is pretty much to keep warm.
Okay. Yeah, it does get chilly at night.
Mm-hmm. I've lived in the desert.
Yeah.
It's
so let's see what Antuxa
103-degree days, 40-degree nights.
Brr.
Sweater weather. And sweating weather.
Yes, but it's a dry heat.
Melting weather. What? Little man.
I would like...
And
yeah.
I will, throughout my route, be making perception rolls and detect disturbances rolls.
Okay, excellent. Give me that detect disturbances roll to start with.
No, you heard it. Ellie said that she'd be making the rolls. Therefore, they're successes.
I mean, this one got made by 8, and that's made by 6, so yes.
You see?
All right.
And if it's a hearing roll, I made it by 7.
Indeed, indeed. To start with on the detect disturbances.
Mm-hmm.
Around just after midnight or so, there is...
You're cutting out.
Sorry, I'm thinking. I'm trying to get the right words here. There is a creeping, seeping disturbance that is emanating. How much did you make that thing by? By 8.
By 8.
that is emanating from something that is in Rufu's bedroom. It's as if something is dripping and oily through the floorboards, through the walls if you're outside. Almost subtle. You could sort of call it subtle because it's quiet and creeping, like the water is slowly building. No, it's nothing like water. It's like sand. The sand is blowing around you and starting to come and cover you. And make a will roll.
No problem.
Made by 5. It's like that stupid floor that was not a dirt floor. There is a presence that is not a conscious presence, but it wants you to be feeling the hot, burning sand and the blistering sun. That is definitely not there. It's a little chilly, in fact.
Indeed. I am going to take out my communicator.
Okay.
You said it's about midnight?
It's about midnight. And since it is about midnight, I would also like who's sleeping and who isn't around the midnight pattern, do you think?
That's an excellent question.
I think I'm awake.
I don't know if Ram would be awake or not. He might be resting his eyes. He might be, air quotes here, resting his eyes.
Mm-hmm.
I think Sen is awake and Ran is nominally sleeping.
Okay, I would like Sen to make a will roll. Made by 4. There is some dark presence that is trying to get in your head and you are pushing it away. Ran, give me a will -3.
I don't know why it rolled that. That's not what I was trying to do. But also my will is 12. So I made it by 2. I clicked.
Good.
I know what I did. I clicked on the wrong button. I was trying to go back to the thing I found before so I could press the -3. And instead I just rolled.
No,
but I rolled.
That's fine. But you rolled and you got a good number.
Yes.
You are having sort of, the dreams are not good. You're having dreams of honestly Korriban. Sorry. You're having dreams of honestly Korriban. Korriban is the desert planet that all prestigious young Sith these days, now that they rediscovered the planet, go to have their trials when they are acolytes so that they may become apprentices. And it's a desert, and it's full of dark places. It's full of tombs and ghosts, and the planet itself, well, long ago, the Republic bombarded it back into the Stone Age that it was only barely out of to start with in some places. And you're just remembering walking through tombs with nothing but the light of your training saber and the giant Kalor slugs. They're not slugs. They're more like giant centipedes, but they're called slugs for some reason, are sort of shifting and making chitinous clicking noises in the shadows.
Korriban is why we're not fazed by all the horror that you're throwing at us.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, please. I've seen the dripping viscous fluid thing done way better.
Something like that.
Are you even trying? Look, I can't take you seriously. Let's try this again tomorrow night. I expect to be terrified.
I mean, it's a bit disquieting. It was before you had fully had control over your powers, and you weren't nearly so good with telekinesis at the time. Elias found the fatigue rules for lack of sleep.
And I'm a little concerned that they live on a planet with a 16-hour day.
Yeah, well,
I believe that is what they are saying people should be awake for.
Yes,
no,
if you've been awake for your normal...
No, that is not. One fatigue point per quarter day, usually 4 hours. You stay awake after that.
Right, because they are talking about your day as separate from your sleep cycle.
And they're calling it day each time, which is bad.
Okay.
Yes.
I just think it's funny.
Yes, it is funny.
I'm imagining an Earth-sized planet spinning so fast it's a 16-hour day, and getting escape velocity from orbit is way easier.
I am not going to go into orbital mechanics. It's Star Wars. Star Wars doesn't have orbital mechanics. It has cinematic orbital mechanics.
Star Wars
Oh,
doesn't
look, a
have
Kerbal.
Star Wars doesn't have physics. Star Wars has space wizards.
Yep. Pretty much.
There was a poll going around Tumblr recently about whether Star Wars was science fiction or fantasy. And it's kind of both.
Yes.
It's a samurai movie.
In space.
When push comes to shove, it's fantasy.
Mm-hmm. With space trappings. The trappings are pretty strong, though.
I will not run a Spelljammer campaign that's just Star Wars. I will not run a Spelljammer campaign that's just Star Wars. I will not run a... I kind of want to.
I would like to play that.
Anyway, I have subtracted the fatigue point for staying up late.
Okay. Sen should probably subtract a fatigue point as well on that regard.
Indeed.
Am I also subtracting a fatigue point? Or are you saying that I'm actually...
No, you're asleep. I'm saying you're actually asleep.
Wake me up.
Oh, I should also be meditating to recover some of the fatigue points I spent. Though
That's
not
true.
that one.
Meditation can work wonders.
Wait, does that mean...
At least on the ones I spent on the Force.
Does that mean you can stay up all night and meditate away the fatigue you get from staying up all night?
After you do it long enough, you will get weird. Because you tapping into the Force instead of sleeping is something that, honestly, for Sith, Jedi can do it longer because Jedi are tapping into the light side, and the light side does not exact certain prices that the dark side does.
It's...
On the other hand, the light side's all wimpy.
Weird, but we're Sith accountants in a GURPS game.
Let me put it this way. Just because you're not tired or suffering a number of the problems for not sleeping and or not doing enough eating and drinking, because those start with fatigue damage too.
You're saying it's
doesn't mean
week.
Yeah, you aren't taking fatigue, but this doesn't mean you aren't starting to get a little paranoid, grouchy, more paranoid than usual.
More grouchy than usual. Okay.
Yeah, convinced that the ancestors are whispering to you and you may not like it. It's something that you can do, and very skilled Sith can do it pretty much indefinitely. But there are probably going to be will rolls to not develop temporary disadvantages or worsening of extant disadvantages after a few days. 2-3 days, yeah, you can do that. You'll get the circles under your eyes. You'll look like, you're kind of, you will look like death warmed over.
The longer you do it, the less effective it is. And also, meditation can recover the body's fatigue. Like it can purge the fatigue toxins, but the brain still needs to rest.
Uh-huh.
So it goes from being, here are game mechanics repercussions, to here's roleplay repercussions.
Yes.
Right.
Which can be more severe and more entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
The player will remember this. But also, Rand's having a nightmare. Does he wake up?
Give me a will roll if you desire to wake up.
Well,
for Rand.
What ought to have preceded this whole thing was...
That's true!
Taking out her communicator like I said I was doing.
Yes, I want to resolve the other roles, yes. Who are you calling?
Calling Sen to say, darling, something's going on in Rufu's room. Would you wake Ran up and have him try and get in and see what's going on?
Something's going on here.
Yes, I think we're feeling the same thing. This sand, it gets everywhere, and it's so coarse.
And I don't want it in my brain. And yes,
Definitely
Sen
not.
is
That would
going
be
to
an
go
unconscionable violation.
try to shake Ran awake.
With my wills roll made by 3, I would like to argue that I do not attempt to lightsaber Sen in half because I'm still in the nightmare. I am awake enough to realize that Sen is attempting to wake me, and I have the adrenaline surge to come fully awake from that without immediately drawing my lightsaber because I don't want to die.
Less the emerald dream and more the powdered quartz dream.
You're right there.
Oh, that was glorious. Just obtuse enough to make it be a bit more of a slow burn. Not a true slow burn, but nice. I'm awake. I was dripping.
Chris would have told me he hates me. Chris would have told me he hates me.
Yes,
Something
and someone else would have done /fish. I, however, enjoy.
Sorry, Io.
Yeah.
Something is trying to get into our brains. And Tuxa says it's coming from Rufu's room.
Well, we should probably investigate then, shouldn't we?
I am really wondering at this point why we don't just kill him, take the communicator, and sort this out later.
This is more fun.
I mean, sort the rest out later. I assure you it is not.
Oddly enough, this sounds very weird coming from someone like us. I don't like to kill when we don't have to kill. And for all the things that are going on right now, I'm not yet convinced. With that said, I've been stalling as I've been reaching for my lockpicks. And by that I mean looking for them on my character sheet.
You have electronic lockpicks.
I have regular lockpicks too.
Oh, okay. Excellent.
I have both, one right above the other. One is worth 50 credits, the other one is worth 1,500. And then I have the guaranteed to never fail lockpick, which is worth 10,000.
Indeed. Quite a scorch mark. It makes distinct humming noise. Sadly, you do not. Actually, by this point, you are probably going to be better with your by doing a telekinesis roll.
So, what I do is I pull out the lockpicks, start to put them in the lock, and then I say, wait, what am I doing? I put the lockpicks away and use telekinesis other.
However, you're still going to have to make a roll for this. And I'm trying to figure out what roll would be an appropriate one, because part of doing telekinesis on things you can't see is...
Well, things I can't perceive.
Yeah.
So I can use the lockpicks because when you're picking a lock, and I say this as someone who has never picked a lock in his life, but
you touch the things.
Yeah, you're touching it, you're going by feel and by sound. So you are perceiving the tumblers. It's the only way you can do it. You're just not using your eyeballs. So I would still be using the lockpicks to some degree.
But probably with your telekinesis.
But
I am going to ask you to make an IQ -3 or a Dex -3, but they're the same, so don't worry about Actually, no. I'm going to ask you to make a perception touch roll, which that roll... Yeah, okay, yeah. Oh, that makes it perfect. That's perfect. Okay, and now make a regular telekinesis.
Telekinesis regular.
By 8. You feel around in there. Okay, this goes like this. Okay, here's all the tumblers, and here you're moving them all in careful, subtle little ways.
And here's the poison needle trap.
No, it doesn't have one of those. It's just a lock, and it goes...
They don't have a poison needle trap. I'm rather insulted.
Snick. Yes, you should be. It goes kersnick, and the door is unlocked.
I stand aside for what I assume to be an invisible Entuxa.
What? No, I'm outside, darling.
How would I know?
This is a fair question.
Because I asked you to look into this.
Zanoni pretends that they were not just trying to turn invisible and is going to sneak into the room.
Oh, Sam.
Did you just cover your eyes?
It's for getting my night vision back.
Ah, good plan. Let's go with that story. I like that story.
As Antuxa realizes that they've gotten the door open, she is starting to like whisper into the comm.
Mm-hmm.
Someone still has to stay outside and monitor the outside, darling. I can't be in two places at once. Although that would be delightful.
Begun.
I should look into
the Clone
that.
Wars have.
Yeah, pretty much.
Sen is not saying this because they're busy being sneaky, but Sen is going in because they are sneakier than Ron is.
Ron, you stepped on one of the creaky floorboards out there.
Creaky floorboards and made it by
Yes.
2.
Uh-huh. And that one sure is creaky right there under your foot.
And this one can creak, and this one can creak, and this one can creak. Are we in a horror game? So
Sen attempts to suppress their murderous urges towards their own party.
By the way, the teacher whose room is next to mine, a student damaged his door. It mostly works, but now, anytime it is opened or closed, it makes the most glorious horror movie door sound effect.
Oh, no.
And one of my students handed in a horror movie for our film festival this year, but her plot didn't allow for a door sound effect.
Pity.
Yeah, it's a shame. Opportunity wasted.
Indeed. Let's see if I can just quickly check something out. No, that's not what I want. Just trying to figure out what the penalties currently are for darkness at the moment.
I believe they are darkness and no parents. Thank you.
I'm just going to make an expression, that's all. Oh, that's. I bet I'll find more if I do look for the word darkness. There it is. That's not very helpful.
Is this total darkness?
There is some light coming through.
Okay.
From.
Most of what I'm seeing is for combat.
Yeah.
Okay,
I will close that and just double check.
Not helpful.
No.
Oh, wait.
I've got it. -4.
I have night vision 3, so I'm on -1.
Exactly. Give me a perception vision -1.
I will do so if...
So, I'm sorry. You will do so if...
I was just saying if the Discord thing on the toolbar stops popping up a tiny window covering the modifiers section.
I was going to say, Beth, do you have down at the bottom next to the macro toolbar, do you have the +0?
Yep.
And then the dice? Okay, if you mouse over the +0, in the upper left, there's common modifiers, and the second to last one is lighting.
Lighting. All right. Very good. I will stick that up there, and it is it says -4, and I don't know if that actually is going to be on anything right now or not, but we'll see. Oh, yes, there it is. Okay, excellent.
EO, I really wish I could figure out why I don't see your rolls and your dice won't go away.
You can make the dice go away by picking up one of them and dragging it a little.
Yeah, no, I know. I know how to get them to go away.
Wait.
But neither of us can see them. Neither of us can see the rolls.
Yes.
Which is weird.
Oh, wow.
Unless EO has it. EO, are you rolling private GM rolls?
No. Those are a different color, and it says public roll, so...
Sorry, I will stop flinging dice around my screen, and possibly everyone else's.
Yeah, yours is a different color and took, so that's a private roll.
Sure enough. Weird.
Yeah. Crash, don't do that as a GM. No fair. I can't see your blind GM roll or whatever that is.
I didn't do it as a GM.
Anyway,
I picked self-roll. We can roll dice.
It's not particularly important. I just...
Okay. I can't see
It's such a weird...
Yeah.
Weird issue.
Okay, Sen raid perception by 1. Sen, there's a room here. It got mostly... It's pretty large. I mean, what's this one guy doing with this huge room in here? There's piles of rags and blankets and clothes and stuff here and there. There's, what look like occasionally dishes here and there. You'd have to go sorting through the piles to see what each pile is. They're not very obvious in the moonlight that comes in through the few windows. There's a very faint around the corner of the let's see. Give me just a moment while I make this a itty bitty little light source here.
There's also some stacks of Soldier of Fortune magazine.
No.
And Fisherman Enthusiast.
There you go.
There's a glowing green thing.
There's a little glowing light. There's the fireplace. There's a chimney, basically. And around the corner of the chimney, you can detect that there's a faint glowing light over there that is probably the comm system.
Yeah, I remember sensing
electronics, and that's about where you sense them. There's a chair over there as well.
You sound like you have something in your mouth again.
I am adjusting my mask. I don't know why it sounds like I have something in my mouth. It is not my favored mask, but I sneezed in the other one, and I didn't put that one on because it smelled like sneezes, and I didn't realize that would be so terrible.
If you breathe it enough, you stop noticing it.
No, I did not. It was a most terrible
sneeze.
You hadn't breathed it enough
yet.
I did not want to breathe it enough. I had other masks, and I went and got one.
Sounds like you took the easy way out.
Heck yeah!
Can I steal the comm?
You can walk around to it. We'll go with the stealth. I'm just gonna switch to DM roll and... Okay. There are faint snores coming from the bed. There's a comm unit here. It is making little flashy signs on it. Give me an appropriate electronics operation roll for, well, anything. Computer operation will do.
Is this something mechanical aptitude could help with?
Yes. Okay, you get a plus 2.
I don't know what stat I was rolling, but that's for it at IQ. If it's perception, it'll be too high, or
okay.
If it's will, it'll be 3.
Do that.
Okay, so in that case, I made it by 4.
Okay, add that to whatever. You did a telekinesis other on that. Okay, yeah. You can.
That's why I asked if I could steal the comm.
Okay, I didn't see that one there. Okay, you are floating it over, and it goes bonk. It apparently is connected to something else via a wire. Okay, you walk over. There's a comm here. It is connected to what is apparently a large battery via a wire. Also, the thing that is flickering on it is a charged low, what's the right term? Node not found.
So it's not able to talk to whatever satellite it wants to talk to.
It is possibly a satellite that is orbiting and it is out of range at the moment. It may only work when the satellite is in the right place in the sky. And Tux is detecting disturbance.
I'm continuing to patrol.
Okay, that's good. And I will be handling that pretty soon.
I know you're going to be asking me for these roles, so I'm making them in advance.
Okay, record them so that when I ask you, you tell me what you made them by.
Okay.
I have a request.
Okay.
So Ran, as you can see, has not actually entered the room. He's in the doorway because he realized very quickly that he was not going to be nearly as stealthy as Sen was being. But he can still see in the door. What's Rufu doing?
Give me half a moment to resolve the private role here. Oh dear, oh dear. Okay. Did you make a perception roll for me, Ran?
I'm going to.
And what's your night vision?
Night vision is, I want to say 2, but I'm double checking to make sure I'm telling you the correct thing and not just what I remember.
Yep, I see it.
Okay.
Your perception -2.
Missed by 1. Good news, everyone. We're going to have some plot.
There's a lump over there. What you can hear suggests that there's some faint snores going on.
It's the mannequin from Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Who knows? Meanwhile, Antux is outside, but we've been playing for about an hour, so why don't we take a break?
All right. Buttons are pressed.
Button. Okay. Antuxa, you have been making assorted rolls. I see you've made some perception rolls. I need to make a roll. That's what I need to do. I need to make a roll for that. And I need to make a roll for that. Antuxa, as you are stepping out the door, or, well, actually, where are you at the moment? I see you there. No, I don't see you there. You're inside.
I am inside because that's the last place I was before you switched floors to the second floor.
Drew, decide where you are, please.
Dang it, man. I would have been about here.
Okay. Darn it, I want the...
I think. Assuming the upstairs and downstairs maps are... Actually, the shape of the upstairs map doesn't correspond to the downstairs map in any particular way.
It doesn't? It ought to. It's just larger because it doesn't have the grounds.
Maybe, I suppose?
It does line up, but it's hard to tell because the rooms are different shapes and we haven't been frequenting all of them.
The problem that I'm having is the staircase seems to go up from the left on the first floor map and down toward the right on the second floor map.
Hush, hush, hush. Don't question it. I have a horrible feeling that you're correct.
Anyway, where I want to be is outside Rufo's room.
Okay.
And I don't know where that is right now.
It's the southeast corner of the map.
Then I am down here.
Okay, give me half a moment and I will make... You hear something beyond that fence over there.
Over where, darling? Where is the thing? To which direction? There are many fences.
Oh, true. Let me see if I can make it tap. Why is it not tapping?
It's a raven.
Well, that's not good.
But your chamber door is not here. It's in another castle.
Well, if it were a raven, it would actually be rapping.
Gently rapping. Rapping at the chamber door.
No, it
what
gave
is
that
the thing
up.
that makes
It will do it nevermore.
A ticky tick?
Just the wind and nothing more.
What does make that little drawing tool? Drawing tool? circle. Is that visible
I
to
have
you?
no idea. Yes.
Okay. It's over in that direction.
Okay. I will go investigate.
You are invisible.
Yes.
And what was the stealth roll that you made a while back? Or do you want to make another one just for...
It was fairly high. Oh, no, I made it by 3.
Okay.
Although I'll make another one if you like.
Up to you.
Sure, why not? No, this is funnier.
The miss by 3 is funnier.
There is a stick I didn't see.
Well, it had the rude behavior of being covered up by a light layer of sand.
All right. I believe that I had previously described the fence as about a chest height, the sort of fence you can lean on and look out across the picturesque sands.
Right.
You are creeping up to look over the fence, I presume.
Yes, but not too close.
Well, as you are creeping up to look over the fence, you see one of the creatures coming over the edge of it. You know, the ones that you hit, and if you kill them, they shrivel up.
Right.
And since he was fading, how about we fade it? How about we stop there?
Okay.
Does that sound like a good enough cliffhanger-ish sort of thing?
That's fine with me as long as I remember that I'm invisible. Which, let's be honest, I'm not going to.
Bess decided to... Oh, no, Crash did that, huh?
No, I did that accidentally.
Okay.
Let me... there ought to be
if you
a
right-click
thing...
on the icon, other
Yep.
status effects...
Yeah, I'm just trying to find it.
There we go.
There we go.
Now he's
I picked
what that
sneaking
eyeball
stealth.
means.
Yeah.
The problem is there are several eyeballs.
It's waiting. I'll undo waiting. Well, this one in particular says stealth.
Yes, that's what I just added.
Good. So did I. We have double added it. You are extra stealthy.
Apparently.
And also we have done yelled Antux is invisible at the very end, so if the thing loads, which it often does, that will indicate that Antuxa is clearly invisible.
Okay. Now we just have to roll several dozen times so it scrolls off.
No, please don't do that. That would be mean. So, thank everybody. Thank you all for playing, and I thank everyone who's listening, and I hope that you had fun. I hope any hypothetical listeners had fun. And would anyone like to plug anything?
Well, I'm pretty sure you would.
That's true. Eo's mom does write books at elizabethmccoy.com, and some of them are even science fiction, little short fiction things with furry aliens in them, usually. And speaking of...
I'm pretty sure you've been in our games longer than the Eo's Mom Writes Books thing was around before you joined.
At this point,
No?
yes.
Maybe? Well, yeah, okay, maybe by now. Sorry. I still like it. It sounds properly humble and third person. Like you have to write all of the things about the author, and you're supposed to write it in the third person as if you weren't the one actually, crafting the words yourself. Like you hired somebody for it. So, it sounds fancy. And speaking of sounding fancy.
Why, yes, I do drink my water with my pinky extended. Thank you for bringing that up.
Uh-huh.
And yes, I did just pause to take a sip of water with my pinky extended because in spite of this being an audio format, I had to do the visual. With that said, I'm reading what Ellie's writing in the chat. Elizabeth McCoy is literally the best person in the world you can ask her.
No, I would not. I am not that hubristic.
My hubris.
But I
but speaking of websites, aaronbsmith.com/cogwheel is where you can find all of our podcasts for currently 4 different campaigns using 3 different systems. Because we can't have just one.
Right.
However, you can also follow us on the Fediverse at is.aaronbsmith.com/cogwheel. And you can support us on Patreon at patreon.com/cogwheelgaming, where you'll be joining other illustrious patrons, including Ellie, Shen Shen, Walter, and patron emeritus Cindy.
Until next time, this is Beth saying, "Irk." Actually, no. This is Beth. Yeah, there's a foos out in the somewhere, but primarily there's a.
And in the distance, Boutini. That last one's not.
And
canon.
then explosion.
It's just a muff.
We all watch with sunglasses as the mushroom cloud rises up.
The good news is you don't need to go visit the huts anymore.
The bad news is?
Yeah.
Parts of them will be visiting
up.
you.
Yes. No, I haven't done that yet. I haven't decided yet. Good night, everyone. Good night. I don't have a good quote.
Well, my lord, the equipment problem doesn't exist anymore. Now, I do have to confess, this is because the equipment doesn't exist anymore, and in fact, the huts don't exist anymore.
But
which is really a fair
defense,
trade.
Well,
in my defense, the problem doesn't exist anymore.
Also, in our defense, it was a Jawa.
Yes, I didn't have anything to do with it. I was in a hovel of some kind.
It's odd how the blast radius reached just to the doorstep of the hovel we were in.
Indeed. The oddest thing. Well, no sense looking into it.
All right, I'm going to stop the recording now.